Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Galactopod, where we talk about a galaxy worth of different topics. My name is Nico.
My name is Logan.
And today we have a special episode because Season 4 of Invincible finished airing today. So we will be reviewing that. And the second segment of this episode will be Stranger Things Tales from 85 that will be releasing on Netflix. At the time we were recording, it actually hasn't released yet. But we did miss last week. We missed the schedule last week. We were supposed to do Welcome to Derry, and we were also going to review the Absolute Flash run. But Logan was sick. Do you want to explain it, or do you want me to explain it?
I tested positive for the flu, and that caused my asthma to flare up real bad, like worse than it ever has. So I spent basically a week in bed, unable to breathe, and so I have gotten a lot of medicine and after an ER trip. So if I cough a bit during that, it's just because I have some inflammation in my lungs still. But other than that, I'm perfectly good. So
he's lying. He's actually dying. But yeah, I'm gonna be honest, bro. Like going into like the Invincible stuff, I had a lot of expectations for this season, and I'm gonna be honest.
This is why I wanted Justin here.
I don't know if because Justin. Anyone who's watched the podcast, you know who Justin is. He was supposed to be here because he's a massive Invincible fan. He canceled last minute because supposedly he's sick too, which is annoying as fuck because he's the one who got Logan sick in the first place. But anyways, I do think we will disagree a little bit on this because of the fact that I think there's certain stuff that I value in shows that you value less, and there's stuff that you value that I don't value as much. And I think you know what I'm talking about already.
Maybe.
But I think that's where we'll...
Do you want to go straight into ratings?
We can go straight into ratings. So, our official ratings for Invincible Season 4 after the finale has finished airing on 3. 1, 2, 3, 9. Yeah, you gave it a 7. I gave it a 9. I think that's kind of fair because you know what it is though, because that's what I was just talking about. I value story above everything else, and I do think the story was at a high level. But there was a lot of other stuff that I imagine you're going to mention that was not at the same level.
I don't even think the story was that... I mean, there were aspects of it I really liked, but I don't think the story was that good at all. I think it underperformed and didn't deliver a lot of stuff from the comics, which is something I can't say about the... Like, Invincible through the 3 seasons we've had so far has definitely exceeded the comics on a lot of character arcs, and I could say I do not think it did that here, and in a lot of aspects.
We'll get into more detail, but okay, do you want to start with the pros or the cons?
You can start.
But start with the pros or the cons.
We can do pros.
Okay, I'll start off with a pro that has to do with the beginning of the season, and I thought that the way that this season started with how we start off with Mark's emotional and mental state, and was really good because in the beginning of the season he's so tense and he's constantly on edge. Because we actually see him living the consequences of the Viltrumite War. It's not the Viltrumite War, the Invincible War. And, I think it's good because a lot of the times, I don't want to say this is, a negative for the other seasons of Invincible, but, a lot of the times we have seen Mark kind of get into these big scraps and not really, I don't want to say he didn't deal with the consequences of them at all, but not to the extent that we saw him deal with these.
Yeah.
I remember that montage, I think it was in episode 1, with that one song that has now become the biggest meme in the fucking world. The one that goes, and we run, and we run. That one's become the biggest meme in the world. But the montage was really fucking good because it showed the effects of the Invincible War, and I thought that was good.
Yeah, I mean, that was one of the things I had written down for this season as well, and I will talk about it a bit more because it was more prominent later in the season for sure. But yeah, my thing with that is I just didn't care for the sequence anymore. That was the third, fourth time
that was
the third or fourth time we've seen them.
That's fair enough. Yeah.
Okay, so let's just get the big one out of the way. The pro about Invincible is the voice actors. Let's just get that out the way.
That's true. I actually don't have that written down, surprisingly. Yeah.
I mean, J.K. Simmons. I think this might have been J.K. Simmons one of his not as good seasons, and he still did amazing. Steven Yeun.
I think it's really hard to top his season 1 performance.
Yeah, and even season 3 when they get Oliver. 2, 3.
I think that's 3. Yeah.
Is it? Yeah. Steven Yeun obviously phenomenal. Sandra Oh this was probably her best season for me.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
People didn't like Lee Pace. I actually thought he did really well.
Dude, I have stuff to talk about Lee Pace later, but like the people who like didn't like that even after the show has finished airing, like I don't know what
it's because
I don't know what you're complaining about.
They wanted this like biker smoking sound.
Yeah, like
they wanted this like they wanted like conquest. They wanted Uncle Carl for Thrag, bro.
I don't know if that. You know what they wanted? Like they wanted like more of like that deep. Like they wanted a Kratos voice. That's what they wanted.
Yeah, they wanted Thaddeus.
Yeah, but I think this like Lee Pace's voice just worked better in my opinion. But
yeah, because he had that like not royal. What's the word? Royal, whatever.
Yeah, he had a little bit of royalty to his voice. But I'll get my next one. One. And to your point about the Sequids, I do I do to an extent agree with you that like how many times they're gonna see the fucking Sequids. That being said though, having Mark start the season by killing the person that the main Sequid was inhabiting was a good way to show the shift in his character this season because it because it automatically like on top of the fact that like he was already living on edge and like clearly pushing himself to fucking clean up the mess of the Invincible War. You also see the fact that like he's slipping.
Yeah.
And like that then leads to a lot of the other emotional stuff he goes through later in the season, like with the whole Viltrumite stuff, where it's like he's already not in a good place and then you're putting him in these positions, and that's what led to a lot of the good mental health stuff he went through later in the season that I want to talk about later. But I thought that was a really good like starting point. Like I thought overall the season started well with that aspect.
Yeah, yeah, episodes 1 and 2 were definitely a bit better than like the middle of the season for me. This season definitely had some issues with that. I did like, hold on. Yeah, my next biggest pro, just for the whole season in general, is just Omni-Man's character.
Yeah.
I think he's the best thing to come out of this franchise, and I don't think there's a single character written anywhere.
So close. Far, yeah, for sure.
I don't think there's.
I think over time, Thrag might get up there, and obviously Steven Yeun as Mark is really good.
I don't think Thrag will actually, unless they expand on his character way more than he is in the comics, which they probably
already have. They already have.
Well, no,
from what I've seen, they already have.
They already have, but it's still not close to enough. But as of right now, Omni-Man is the best thing. Nolan, whatever you want to call him, he's by far the best thing to come out of this. I mean, the scenes where he's on screen, obviously him talking when he was back at Earth, talking to Debbie, when he was there with
I'm gonna talk about that scene later.
With Oliver, when he's talking to Cecil, that was one of my favorite lines. Was that last episode talking to Cecil?
Yeah,
which for
you know what I thought was better than this, because I thought the Cecil talk was good. I thought the talk with Art, the guy who makes the suits, was better.
I forgot about that one. That one was pretty good.
That one was really good.
Obviously, for anyone, y'all don't know this, but as of the time of recording this, it's been out for about, the finale's been out for about 14 hours. Yeah. So we both watched it today. I mean, yeah, it literally was just anytime Nolan was on screen, I think he did more than anyone else did.
Yeah. That's also just because he has, like, other than maybe Mark, he by far has the most emotional stuff going for him this season out of all the other characters.
Yeah. I will say, I don't think Mark is the second best character, though.
I didn't say he was the second best character. I'm saying, like, emotionally what he has to deal with, Nolan has to deal with emotionally by far.
Definitely.
And the only one who was rivaling him in this season in terms of that is Mark.
Yeah, no, but I actually am curious. If you were to rank, like, your top 3 best written characters of this show, which 3 would you put? Because I don't think Mark's in my top 3. After the finale, he might have been. Before the finale, I was dead set.
I think Nolan's number 1. Nolan's number 1. I think
I have Cecil second.
Nah, I don't have Cecil second. I would have Mark second.
I think Cecil's better than Mark significantly. Mark sneaks third because of the PTSD stuff in the finale. But before that finale of season 4, Mark was not second.
I don't know, nah, bro, because the arc he goes through in season 1 is amazing. Season 2,
no, but I think Debbie in season 2, I think they did way more with her actual writing than they did with Mark.
You know, like, okay, I'm gonna say in my opinion, because I think season 1 and this season and season 3 has like they've done a lot of good writing throughout that I would put him at 2. Debbie's definitely 3 for me though.
I think
Debbie is definitely 3 because you know what it is with Debbie is that obviously when it comes to certain characters, like I think they've done this with Thrag most recently, where they have like consistently made these characters better.
Yeah.
In the show than in the comics. But I think the biggest like difference is Debbie. Because I've never read the Invincible comics. I only know so much about them.
Debbie and Cecil are very different from them.
Yeah, that's like I only know so much about the comics because the Invincible fan base fucking sucks and they just spoil everything. So you just naturally fucking get see everything. But Debbie from the comics compared to the show, it feels like it's night and day. Like it really does. And it's like there's certain panels that I've seen from the comic where I'm like, show Debbie would never even think to utter these words.
Yeah, no.
So,
I do think I think Cecil's up there though. Like there's a lot of lines he has to Mark where he talks to Mark and he's like, "Let me make those decisions, not you. I haven't slept for a while." Or I forgot the exact line.
I know what line you're talking about.
I think Debbie and Cecil. Those two are 2 and 3 for me. Mark after the finale, I could argue Mark being 3rd, but I don't know.
I think Mark is up there, but like again, I'm not putting you down for that Cecil thing, but I'll get my next pro.
And William.
Oh God, I hate William, but I'll get my next pro, and that has to do with Nolan specifically. I thought the entire sequence in episode 2 with young Nolan and the Scourge virus was peak front to back.
I don't know if that was in the comics. Actually,
It wasn't. Yeah, no, it wasn't. For like at least from what I know, it was not at all. And I thought like getting to actually see for the first time like the sea of dead Viltrumites and how their race got completely wiped out was super good. And I thought the scene with Nolan fighting his parents, proving his word to show the Viltrum tradition or whatever. I thought that was also really good.
I thought the fact that you could see that Viltrumites all like there's empathy isn't an alien aspect.
Yeah, like they don't think, which like is something that I thought really differentiated Conquest in my opinion.
Yeah,
because the way I interpreted Conquest as a character, more so like last season when he was introduced, but like in this like as of now when it came to Conquest, I think what made him so different is that I think he necessarily felt empathy, but that he understood what he was doing was wrong, but he did it anyway.
Yeah, he does it because he likes it.
With the other Viltrumites, it feels like they genuinely just believe in the cause so much. And with Conquest, it felt like he could feel the empathy. Like, it's not that he felt empathetic towards his victims, but like he knew what he was doing was wrong. And like that's why I think differentiated him so much. But that's like kind of off topic. I just thought the entire sequence in episode 2 with young Nolan was amazing, because that's another thing that, as far as my knowledge, was not in the comics at all, and it just vastly improves on Nolan's character.
Yeah, excuse me. Yeah, like I mean that kind of goes into me. I mean, whenever Nolan was on screen, I mean, I getting to see the Purge, to properly see the Purge was there. Obviously, the Scourge virus, all of that. I think Nolan's reaction when he got shown. Is it Thaddeus? Is that how you pronounce his name?
It's Thaddeus, I think.
Thaddeus?
Yeah.
When Thaddeus shows him the Scourge virus, and where he like is about to kill him, that one's great. I mean, Nolan's line delivery to other Viltrumites, like to Conquest.
Dude, that's what I'm gonna talk about later. His conversation with Conquest on Viltrum was such a. With Thrak. It was such a well written scene, man.
But yeah, I think it actually like lays into the what they plan on doing in the comics later on really well.
But before we move on, the last thing I wanted to add is that my favorite part of the entire sequence with young Nolan was the fact that if you look hard enough, you could tell he even felt empathy back then because he spared the kid that he was teaching.
Yeah, no, I saw people talking about that. Yeah, it is. That is a big like theme kind of with the Viltrumites. Is it's really just. They're just blind loyal, and that's why the second that we see Thrag not leading them in the comics, it becomes like a big thing of like, oh well, the Viltrumites are good now, and then Thrag comes back and it's they're not good anymore, and then Thrag like obviously whatever, and then eventually because obviously spoilers whatever, but I've seen
you probably shouldn't say it if it's spoilers, just in case.
I mean just in case, but this is gonna get if you're on TikTok at all, I promise you the Invincible fandom will spoil it for you.
Yeah, but like we don't want to be part of the problem, so just give your next part.
Sure. This is actually one of my last ones. I have and this is the specific line I was talking about. Is Cecil and Nolan? They're on top of the Appalachian Appalachian Mountains.
I have no idea.
Appalachian is in the U.S. The Himalayan mountains, where Nolan beat the fuck out of Mark.
Yeah.
And Cecil pops up, and this specific line where Nolan is like, because you can tell Nolan is like, it's the first time he's ever really tried to change the way he acts, and so you could tell from his perspective, it's like, well, I'm doing it. Why is no one really accepting it? Yeah. And then Cecil gives that line where he goes, where Nolan goes, I almost died trying to save people.
Oh, yeah.
And then Cecil goes, okay, now almost died 2,341 more times, and then we'll be even. It's like that was a beautiful line. That was the best line. It was better. It was better than the I Dress Heroes. It was better than
I Dress Heroes was really good though.
It was, but that was better because that puts a real like actual boundary on it. That puts a real like.
I think I Dress Heroes did too though.
I think it did, but not like in this way though.
Maybe. I just personally prefer I Dress Heroes more. I think it's more the line delivery for me I like better with I Dress Heroes.
I just love the way Walton Goggins does Cecil.
Yeah. I'll get my next bro. And I'm going to, like, this more applies to, like, the first half of the season. Because, like, the second half of the season is more so just, like, one thing after the other. And it's, like, one serious moment after the next. But I thought in the first half, the humor was actually pretty good. Like, I found, like, I don't have any specific examples because I was dumb enough to, like, forget to write any of them down. But, like, I found myself actually laughing a good amount, which is something that could be said, like, a good amount about, like, the whole show in general. Because, like, I think...
Season 1, it was funniest in Season 1, though.
Yeah, it was funny since Season 1, but I think that's also just another thing, like, they just had way more time for that. But, like, I think one of the things about Invincible that makes it so funny is the fact that, like, They really somehow managed to capture like modern humor, like in a way that's like actually natural because Mark is a Gen Zer, so it's like it actually works.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I thought that was good.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't think it was anything crazy outstanding, but like I was like, yeah, no, it's funny. Like it wasn't like unfunny like so a lot of the other stuff we end up watching.
Yeah. A lot of the other stuff that we watch, a lot of the time, it's like we don't like the humor. Like, especially coming off of a project like Project Hail Mary, where we were
where a lot of it is very forced, very
exactly. Like coming off a project like that, and then we're going on to this. It's like, yeah, it was. You could tell the difference
because when humor is natural, it is always better, in my opinion, compared to a character that's like very forced. Like for example, just because this is a big hot topic since the movie leaked, Sokka from Avatar: The Last Airbender, he's funny. He's a little corny. He's corny, but he's funny.
He's funny.
But then you go to a character like...
I thought Zuko was the funniest one in that show.
Yeah, Zuko is also very funny as well, a lot of the time.
Because it's like that awkward, natural funny.
Or like Iroh.
Yeah, I guess Iroh.
It's like, those are funny because it's like, it just flows off. You could tell it's part of the character. It's not forced in. And that is something this show has excelled at in its writing.
Yeah.
And when a lot of other areas of the writing have failed, I will say. I am actually out.
Okay, I'll just go through my next ones. The Debbie and Nolan reunion scene. Like, I want to talk about it in depth because we mentioned it before, but I thought it was fucking perfect, man. I thought the Debbie and Nolan reunion scene for the first time in the Grayson house was fucking perfect. And to be honest, I don't really give a fuck that it deviated from the comic. Because this version of Debbie would have never just taken Nolan back that quickly.
Yeah, that was always...
And in my opinion, I would rather her not taken back at all, even though we know it's going to eventually happen with the way the season ended. But, like, I'm so glad they made her stand her ground way more in the show. And the voice actor for Debbie...
Sandra
Oh, yeah, that's her name. She was fucking amazing in that scene. And, like, it was so annoying because I thought she did so good in that scene. And then people instantly, like the TikTok Invincible fandom, instantly started like fucking editing her screaming, and it was Yeah, that made it harder to take seriously.
No,
but she did really well though. She really did.
The voice actors. I mean, like obviously I already said it. The voice actors are the best part about the show, and it really isn't close. The writing, the fighting, the humor, the music, nothing comes close to how good the voice actors are.
That being said, though, this is my next pro. It's a really small one. Now that you mentioned the music, I thought the soundtrack was amazing.
Really?
Yeah, I did.
I thought it was the worst out of all 4 seasons.
Really? Or well, to be fair, I don't really remember too many of the soundtracks from the other seasons.
Okay, no. I'm just gonna mention this now.
But there were the 2 standout songs for me were the first one with the and I run like that one was actually good. And in the finale, they had another.
I wrote down the best song for me in this season was Tom Tom, which is the one they used in season 1, and it was better in season 1.
No, they used it in season 3. They used it last season.
No, Tom Tom, the when he goes to the Flaxen planet.
Oh yeah. Okay.
What was I saying? And I'm just gonna say this now because obviously we try to avoid more serious topics. But
oh my God, what are you about to say, bro?
I can't. Okay, while it is a con for me that the soundtrack was the worst, definitely the worst in this season. I can't fault them that much because the guy they were setting up to do their soundtrack for a major part turned out to be a massive weirdo to say the least.
I have no idea what you're referencing right now. I haven't heard about any of this. Huh?
David.
Oh, he did it for this season too?
No, he did season 3, and then all of the stuff started coming out, so they had to change his songs out.
Oh, well then, yeah. To be fair, to give him some credit, or maybe not credit. Let's just not talk about that. Yeah. We probably shouldn't talk about that. But I'll get my next pro, and this is something that I kind of have like this is like a concept or an idea that a lot of people talk about that I don't know if. I kind of agree with it sometimes, but I really heavily disagree with it at other times. A lot of people say that Mark and Eve's relationship is only about sex, and I don't know if I really agree. Because they have so many small moments. Because, yes, they do fuck a lot in the show.
They're teenagers, dude.
Yeah, they're teenagers, to be fair to them. But, they do fuck a lot in the show, and a lot of people are like, oh, all they do is have sex and sit on that fucking rooftop. Which is, to an extent, they're not that wrong. But, the moments they have on that fucking rooftop, and even when they're, just talking within each other, they have a lot of good moments. The talk they have in episode 5 before Mark leaves, where Eve is like, "You can't die." That is such a good moment that you only need small moments like that to flesh out their relationship, because people are like, well, they get together and all of a sudden their whole relationship is just fucking and talking on that fucking rooftop. But it's you had 3 seasons to build up the relationship. You don't really need to do that much groundwork anymore. Yeah. You already laid it all out.
If anyone's complaining about a relationship between... They're not teenagers at this point. I think they're 20.
So they're 19, 20.
I think their Mark is 20. If you have a complaint about them having sex a lot, that really just tells us something about you. That's all I'm going to say. That really just tells us something about you and your life. That's all I'm going to say about that, dude. Yeah. Because it's they fight and almost die every day together. They're relieving the stress somehow, brother. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, it's realistic, bro. It's realistic.
That's the dumbest complaints. There are things you could complain about Eve and Mark in their relationship. That's the stupidest one to me.
Yeah. Because the one thing I would agree with someone is if they said, I wish they would do more with Mark and Eve now that they're together. That I would maybe agree with. But for people to say their relationship, you don't know how many tweets I've seen where they're like, all they do is fuck and talk on that fucking rooftop. And it's it's funny when you say it, but it's not terrible writing or anything, in my opinion at least. But my next one, the Mark and Conquest fight in episode 5, where he rips out his intestines and he chokes Conquest out. Looking at that, I was just holy shit. That might be the best fight in the whole show, to be honest. Instead of just strictly just the fight. Take out emotional stuff, because obviously, season 1, Omni-Man versus Invincible, that was probably the best fight. But just strictly, this is definitely up there, in my opinion.
I don't think it's the best. I thought it actually didn't look good at all.
You don't think it was good?
The best scene from that fight is when he pops up behind Oliver and it's a still frame.
True. I think
it didn't look good.
I don't think.
If you're arguing,
what leading up to it was not good. I think the fight in space, when it was a team fight, was not good. But when they got to the planet, it was just Mark and Conquest. I really like that. That part of the fight.
I don't think it looked good. Like even when they showed Conquest being strangled, I don't think it looked good. Even when Conquest was digging out his guts, which I think was cool. Like I'm not gonna say it wasn't cool. I'm not gonna say it wasn't metal, but I am gonna say it didn't look good.
I mean, I don't know.
Like the fight against Doc Seismic in season 1 was a visually more stimulating fight.
I mean, maybe like again, it's so hard to compare to season 1 because season 1 just looks just way better. But like, I do think that like this fight is up there, bro. And like that being said, I will say this, even though I think that fight is up there, I do think that within the next like season and a half, it is not going to be up there anymore because I think we're going to get a lot more better ones. But I do think this is up there.
I don't know. They've kind of failed my expectations now. I think this show needs about 6 to 8 months longer in between releases of seasons.
They're not going to do that though, because I don't. Is his name Robert or Eric Kirkman? Robert Kirkman. He I was watching a TikTok of him literally only a few hours before we started recording, and he's literally so like, I don't know if proud is the right word, but he's very like adamant and proud, I guess, of the fact that like they're doing yearly releases.
Well, no, yeah, I can't blame
because
him.
People,
this dude has been trying to get his show. This dude has been trying to get his comic on a screen for like 15, 20 years. So I can't blame him for pushing for it to be this yearly release.
I blame Amazon. That's why
I blame Amazon.
Yes,
Amazon. They don't have the budget and they don't have the proper.
Yeah, we got into an argument about this with Justin a bit ago because he kept on saying that it's Kirkman's fault because he hires these voice actors and because they're not giving him the time, and Kirkman he's trying to run it like it's a live action show when it's animated. And I'm like, dude, Kirkman would be perfectly fine if Amazon didn't give him scraps every year. But yeah, we'll move away from that. My next one, I only have like 3 left. You mentioned it before, Nolan in this season, his character is written beautifully. And the thing that I love so much about it is, like, as in this season at least, is the fact that he's fully aware of like how vile like the Viltrumite ideals are and how destructive his people can be. But he still feels attached to his home, which is such a good, like, kind of contradiction because it makes perfect sense for him to, like, obviously he's opened his eyes, he's realized how much damage he's done and how much damage Viltrum, like, as a whole has done. But he also realizes, like a lot of these other Viltrumites, they're not necessarily, like, they don't know anything else. They don't know any other way of life. And there are certain parts of, like, when you see him, like, reminisce back on, like, his past, and he's, like, it's not that, like, there's certain parts that he misses about being a Viltrumite, but it's more so, like, he still feels attached to, like, the way he grew up, which is, like, perfectly understandable. I think does a lot of good for his character.
Yeah, just Nolan is just the best thing in this season. I don't know if there's anything else I could say about it. In my opinion, he was the only thing that saved this season from a 5 out of 10. So
wow, okay. I mean, fair enough, I guess. But I'll move on to my next one because it has also to do with Nolan. The conversation that Thrag and Nolan have in episode 7, talking about their people, was so unbelievably good. Because it does so much to flesh out Thrag's character with just one conversation that also didn't happen in the comics as far as I know. And it's such it's like such amazing writing, which is only made better by the events that happen immediately after with Viltrum being exploded. And because the fact that, like, he's literally offering on, like we don't have a lot of us left. I will forgive you for the shit you've done, but you have to come back and you help us build Argall's vision, whatever it is, right? And, like, you could really see just off of that conversation how obsessed Thrag is with, like, honoring this, like, vision that Argall had. Talking about the whole, like, everything is ours kind of thing. And how Nolan is, like, so, like, he's grown so much. That conversation was just, like, the perfect way to show how these two characters are written in, like, a good way.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't... Thrag is a lot of things, and I do hope they expand on him more, because they obviously expanded from the comics, which I liked, from what I know, obviously. But I think he was still not touched on enough. Like, there's a lot more that should be done with him, and that's one of the...
I think part of that is also because we didn't see him until, like, the middle of the season.
Until, like, episode 6, yeah.
Yeah.
Which,
But I think they'll do a lot more with him next season.
Yeah, I'm hoping. And that's one of the main things that I'm looking forward to in season 5 is seeing Thrag actually be developed in some real type of way, because for something that's built up like this, for the main villain, the big bad, I really want to see just a really good character laid out. I want to see more of his relationship with Argyle. That way we get more understanding of this like weird obsession. Like obviously carrying the skull around and like jumping out of the exploding spaceship to save the skull.
Yeah.
Like I want to see them actually elaborate on that, go into that. Like obviously he's gonna respect Argyle because Argyle was probably one of the only people ever that was stronger than him.
Yeah.
Like I'm assuming that's gonna be a big part of it, but yeah, I don't know, because I think it was confirmed that Argyle was still stronger than him when he was made. I think Kirkman said that. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. But
are you good to move?
I have one more. And I, so far, because the finale hasn't been out for even 24 hours yet, but I've so far seen mixed opinions about the finale. I actually loved it.
I saw people saying it felt like a filler episode. I'm like, anyone that thought that just didn't understand what was happening.
Yeah, because people will complain and say that not much happened, but I would disagree. Because the finale does so much for all the characters and fleshing them out. Mark especially.
Yeah.
Right? Him and Nolan and even Alan have so much good character work writing-wise in this episode that I really loved. I thought Nolan's interactions with Debbie were basically perfect in the finale. I thought Mark's severe PTSD sequences were done so well.
Especially, I think my favorite one was probably at the college with Anissa.
Yeah. But like it was so like all of them were done so well.
It was Thrag. Was it Anissa or Thrag?
All of them were Thrag, I think.
All of them were Thrag?
I think all of them were Thrag. But that was done so well. Even Alan's plot with him taking over for Thetis and being charged with using the second Scourge virus was also compelling. And I think this is something that I saw some people complaining about that are like kind of like die hard for the comic, is the delivery of the iconic Thrag line saying, "We very much are here," right? In my opinion, is so much better in this episode than it was in the comic. Because the way it's delivered in this episode, where it's like...
I like that
he goes the whole episode. We know he's going to pop up at some point as the audience. We know this. Mark probably knows it as well. But he goes the entire episode hallucinating Thrag popping up and killing Eve, killing his mom, doing whatever. And it's like, he's so scared when it happens. And then when he sees Thrag in the sky, he's like, he can't make out whether it's real or not. Yeah. And then that's when he delivers a line of like, "We are here." That is way better than Thrag just popping up. And I think in the comic, he just pops up and like grabs Debbie by the neck and goes, "We are very much here." I think what they did in the show is way better. I saw people complaining like, "Well, why didn't they adapt this panel?" It's like, because it's just better.
No, I think the overall delivery was better. I do think it could have been a bit more with the line itself, or the lines they gave Thrag itself. Even though I don't think they were necessarily bad, I think they could have been improved upon. But the actual overall delivery, like obviously the setting they built throughout the whole episode of him just hallucinating, and then obviously in the scene you could hear his panicked breathing, and then you hear him call, and then you hear him take that deep breath, which obviously he did multiple times, and that's when the hallucination stopped, and he looks up and Thrag is still sitting there. Mm-hmm. That was all. I think that was very well done. I think I liked that it was just Mark there. Yeah. And that Nolan wasn't there. Yeah. I think that does change things from the comics, so we're going to have to see how they deliver that writing. Like, in terms of Nolan knowing and all the Scourge virus going there and everything. Yeah. But, I don't know. I do think it was an improvement from the comic in a lot of ways. It really just depends.
Yeah. Do you want to move on to cons now?
See.
Okay, you give your first one, because I just gave like 6 in a row. So,
well, since we already talked about it, yeah, this was the worst soundtrack out of the 4 seasons for me. I mean, in every season, we've had kind of an iconic hit. I mean, season 3, there was obviously Feel It, which obviously when that came out, it was crazy.
It was good, man. Good song.
Season 1, when the scene of him flying through the Flaxen home planet with Tom Tom, that scene was amazing.
That was Nolan though, right?
That was Nolan. Season 2, there's another one, I forgot the name, but there was just no, even the introduction scene with and we run. Yeah,
man, that song, I can't hear that song normally no more, man.
Yeah, as funny as it is with the dumbass memes on like fucking TikTok and everything, it was very underwhelming. Oh yeah, season 2 was Karma Police.
Oh yeah.
That's what it was. But it's like it just didn't deliver to the same level. None of the. I mean, even in the like, there was some cool background songs, like they like fit the moment, but there was just no momentary delivery. There was no like wow, like I'm like you hear it pop up and you were like damn, like in every other season up to that point.
I mean, I guess that's fair. I don't know. I really like the soundtrack this season, but I'll give my first one, which is kind of like a decently big one. My first con is that like I am still so annoyed that Cecil kept Conquest alive in the first place. And because it seemed, first off, like I know it's not something that he did in this season, so I'm not going to spend too much time on it, but even if it is something that came from the comic, it still seems something that's way too stupid that Cecil wouldn't actually do.
It was actually Conquest.
But that's the thing. The one gripe I had with the finale was that I don't like that after returning to Earth, Mark never held Cecil accountable for Conquest. Yeah. And I know he's going through his own stuff with the PTSD stuff, but like Mark wasted 2 whole months being away just recovering from fighting Conquest.
Yeah.
And it's like, especially since a lot of Mark's turmoil in the finale is, I spent so much time away from the people I love and this and that. I spent 10 whole months, da-da-da-da. You spent 2 months of that just recovering from the Conquest fight. Like, unable to do nothing, just recovering from the fight. So I don't like that he didn't even bring up the Conquest stuff to Cecil.
But you know what it was? Cecil saw the Uncle Carl fan art.
Oh my god, get out of here! but like you get what I mean. Like it did actually get to my nerves. It's like, dude, not even like a throwaway line of him being like, don't ever do some shit like that again, talking about Conquest or something. Like we didn't even get that. Like, and even that would have been like not enough. But like we didn't even get that. So that did kind of annoy me because like there were people like before the finale aired and before like even like the episode 7 aired. Where, like, there was jokes being made of, like, when Mark returns to Earth and finds Cecil, he's gonna fucking rip him a new one.
That was actually...
And all he did when he saw Cecil was just, can I have a therapist?
It was Conquest's brother Kindquest. You guys didn't know.
I refuse to give attention to that right now.
It was really dumb. I'm gonna save the bigger ones, and we're gonna start off. Yeah, let me talk about the Nothing Burger Deluxe really fast. Adam Eve...
I didn't know you were gonna. When you said Nothing Burger, I thought you were gonna talk about something else.
There's a few more characters to talk about. Adam Eve in this season.
Listen, she just doesn't do much.
No, it's not that she doesn't do much. She doesn't do jack shit. Yeah. And it's like I get that they were doing like she's pregnant, her powers aren't working, and it was okay. It wasn't bad. Like the delivery in the final episode, I will say it was definitely annoyed me a little that this dude was off saving the universe, and then he's like having to sit there being like, "No, I wasn't there for you when you needed me." Like, it's like, I understand.
Yeah, but, like, man, it's a superhero show. We were going to get a line like that.
Yeah, like, I get pregnancy is a big burden, and especially because Eve didn't know if he was going to come back, didn't know if she was going to be a single mother, all of that. Like, that's a big thing. But, like, in a moment like that, when this dude is struggling from PTSD, thinking, wow, they're going to show up at any moment and kill everyone I know and love on my planet, and we're having to sit there and kind of be forced to be like, they went through just as much, guys. It's like...
I don't think that's the direction they were heading. It was more so just to further add to Mark's emotional turmoil, I think.
That's what they were trying to do, but that's what the delivery came off as. Like, that was bad line writing. It was bad script writing. All of that. And even outside of that, she did nothing. Like, and this was...
Bro, the Invincible ink stuff was just not it for me.
It was just not it, and that's not what I'm talking about. Especially with the abortion thing, you had the perfect opportunity to... make the relationship between Eve and Debbie so good, because in the comics they're nothing. You had the perfect opportunity to make that relationship a fucking 12 out of 10, and they just had...
You know what's the most annoying part about that, now that you mentioned that? I can't remember, I think this was after... Yeah, this was after Mark got back, and Debbie was leaving with Nolan, and Eve and Mark come out to say bye to them. And she hugs Mark, tells him that she loves him, she's going to miss him, da-da-da-da. Then she goes, I love both of you guys. Talking about Mark and Eve, and says, I'm going to miss both of you.
Yeah, she, like, hugs
Eve. So like, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's an implication that they became pretty close, and we saw none of it.
Yeah, which is like, dude, It's so annoying because I haven't. Okay, I want to watch the Adam Eve special. I have not watched it yet. Apparently, Adam Eve is very good in that. But in Invincible, she has not been that good. Like especially. Well, no. In season 3, she was pretty good. In season 4, nothing. When they were visiting Eve's like parents' house, nothing.
Yeah.
Like, dude, her dad did more than she did. It's like it's so annoying because it's your main love interest, a character who's gonna be there for. It's supposed to be 7 seasons as of right now. This is a character that's gonna be there for all 7 seasons.
It will more likely be more.
It'll more than likely be more than that, and it's like I just don't care for her at all. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I'll get my next one. This is a character that I genuinely cannot stand, and like way more than Eve, way more than any other character you'll probably mention. I cannot stand Machine Head. Why are we still keeping this guy around 4 seasons in? Same with Titan as well. What are we doing with these characters? Because like they're just in there just to be there because they don't do anything. They basically do nothing in this fucking season.
Yeah, it's
bro.
like it's them trying to make you feel like, oh, well, Mark still cares about Earth. He still does stuff here. Like that's why they're there. But it's like, yeah, him saving the mob boss from the other mob boss, which they end up both just going and joining the whatever it was called, the underground ring or whatever.
Yeah.
And so it all resolves itself.
No, that plotline was so bad to me, man. And yeah, I'll let you give your next one because the next thing I have is the worst plotline in the season. So
I think we might be talking about the same thing.
yeah,
Why did I spend an entire hour
entire episode, man,
watching hell, watching fucking a really
the Damien Darkblood storyline is by far the worst one in the whole show. It's not close.
yeah.
Like I know it's their thing. But I can't stand the way they speak. Volcanico was the corniest villain ever. I could not have cared less when his sister died. And Satan being a red evil Yoda is
no.
Annoying.
No, I will say this right now. That might have been the most egregious design animation choice of the entire show. He looked like a South Park character.
Literally, yes.
He looked like a South Park character.
I'm gonna be, bro. The South Park Satan looked better.
Yes.
Satan in South Park looks better.
Like, dude, and I'm watching this, and you're developing, and it actually, like, here's the thing. They had building blocks there. They're, humans 5th generation, 6th generation, Satan from the 4th or 5th, more powerful as they go along. You have building blocks, and then you just watch Satan get bitched by Mark. Literally just he gets absolutely destroyed by Volcanica.
Which
and then Mark
is the villain of the show by far.
And then Mark goes and one-shots her like 5 times in a row. It's like, why am I supposed to care about this? You're setting up Satan, the king of hell, this ultra-powerful magician, all of this. And he's just an ugly fat guy. He doesn't
who's abnormally short as well.
Yeah, who's abnormally short. And then even when he grows, he doesn't use magic. Like, you're setting him up as this crazy magician. They literally do it in the episode when we see him revive them and all of that. Be like, oh, I don't have my full power right now, but I can still revive them. He gets the crown back. I'm expecting some cool magical wings or some shit. They just make him bigger South Park Satan.
It was so bad.
And it's like, that was a filler episode. I get it was a filler episode. It's not meant to be that
but
good.
bro, they hyped it up so much going into it. Like, this is an original plot line that like it's completely exclusive to the show. It wasn't done in the comic at all. And I'm thinking like, okay, if they could hit it off the ballpark with this, then that's a really good season for this. That's a really good sign for the seasons going forward. But man, if this is the original stuff you have planned for the show, man, just stick to the comic at that point then. Stick to the comic because what in the fuck was that plot line?
Start adapting the tech jacket, Tom.
That whole episode was terrible. Terrible.
It was really bad.
It was terrible. It was so bad.
Like,
It had some of the worst dialogue I've probably almost ever seen in the history of reviewing this podcast. That might be the worst dialogue I've seen.
You know, I think it's arguably as bad as the ChatGPT Stranger Things dialogue.
Dude, no, way worse. Way worse. Because you could tell it wasn't even good enough to be generated by ChatGPT. Like, it was so bad.
It's like they were trying to deliver like that way of speaking and all of that, but it's like, dude, it just doesn't sound good. And you could do that.
It doesn't fit with the show.
It doesn't fit with the show, and it definitely doesn't fit with the show when your animation is dog shit.
Yeah, man.
Which, like, I guess on that point,
yeah,
I guess
is this your next one? Yeah.
Yeah, let's just move into how bad the animation was, because it's like, dude, the fact that I saw people hyping up 3 good animated scenes and talking about how this is a good animated show, when I could count on one hand the amount of times I looked at it and was like, oh, that was actually pretty good. That does not make your show well animated, dude. Like the impact frame for Thrag was cool, but you can't talk about it when that's the only good thing from that fight. Like, this is a fight that was built up for 4 seasons at this point, and I'm watching it like, wow, if you told me this was animated in 2003 for the Teen Titans show, I would believe you.
Yeah, I have it written down here. The fact that we're, like, it's obvious, but, like, there are still moments in the animation is just straight up not good enough. And the fact that we're on season 4 and I'm still seeing floating PNGs is ridiculous.
Dude, oh my god.
It's ridiculous.
When they were, specifically when Alan and, what's her name? Tech Jacket were flying to the ship off of the Viltrumite ship.
You look terrible.
Wow. And also, oh my god. And this one was egregious to me. When Space Racer shot through Viltrum, and I thought the explosions on Viltrum were cool. When they were flying through Viltrum.
Oh yeah, that looked
It looked like a storm of shit.
Yeah.
It literally just looked like a storm of shit they were flying through. I'm like, dude, what the fuck? You could have told me they're flying through a septic tank right now, and I would have told you yes, definitely. Like, bro, it's so bad. And the fact that literally 30 seconds after that scene, they accidentally animated Paul into space instead of Invincible. Yeah. There's so much bad shit about this animation, and this is where I say, as good as the voice acting is, you could cut the voice acting budget. Like, you do not need Sandra Oh for Debbie, as good as she has, and she has been probably the best voice act performer.
Nah, not above J.K. Simmons.
J.K. Simmons in season 1, but outside of season 1, I think Debbie's outperformed him.
I don't know,
but it's like, dude,
protein tubes with the white sauce. That shit was so stupid.
But, like, it's seriously, like, the animation is so bad. And that's why when you look at me and talk to me about the Conquest fight, I'm like, it was cool, it was brutal, it was definitely a good resolution with Conquest, but it's like, it's not a good looking fight scene, bro. I can't look at a fight scene and be like, yeah, I like this fight scene, when I'm looking at it like it's dog shit.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair enough, I guess. But
like Tech Jacket with her super cool suit and everything. Everything she did looked like dog shit. Dude, the darts didn't even drain the poison into the Viltrumites when she shot them. Yeah. Like, if you watch the scenes, it literally just sticks in their arm. The poison that you saw get inserted into the dart doesn't move, doesn't change at all. And then instantly, oh, it worked.
Yeah, but it's just bad animation. They didn't animate it going into the.
Yeah, it's like, it's bad animation, dude, and it's so, like, even not Tech Jacket. Space Racer's gun didn't look good.
Nah, yeah,
the shots, and if you look in the comics, they actually look pretty cool.
Yeah, we could talk for hours about the animation. I'm just gonna move on to my next con about the season, and my next one is Robot going by Rex. It's still super weird to me. And his entire plot line with Monster Girl of being stuck on the Flaxen planet just doesn't interest me at all, I'm gonna be honest. Like, I know it's gonna have significance going down the road, but because I've had it spoiled to me through the comics. Okay, I know it's gonna be important. The problem is that, like, they didn't do nearly enough in this season to make me give a fuck that they were stranded on that planet. Yeah. I don't care.
They showed it, and it's like, dude. To me, I look at this, and knowing what I know in the comics, it just sets up another weird cuck thing that Robert Kirkman had going. Because, I mean, everyone cheats in the Invincible comics, and that just seems like another thing that's going to pop up.
Yeah, man,
and it's like, dude, it's like, okay, yeah, them going and getting stuck on, I don't think they named the planet, Flaxia, probably. So I doubt that they named it.
I think it was just, because the race is called the Flaxens.
Yeah, that's all they said.
So I'm just assuming the planet is called Flaxen. I don't know.
Yeah, something like that. But it's like, it could be interesting. Obviously, Robot, I think, actually gets a lot more to his character after this, but they just didn't do anything with it. They just did it. We saw them trying to go back and get them, but then they had like 3 soldiers.
Dude, die. It was a throwaway scene at the beginning of the finale that ultimately meant nothing anyway.
Then we had like 3 soldiers die, and D.A. Sinclair almost die, and it's like, you know what? Fuck Robot.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know, man. That kind of got on my nerves. Do you have any more cons left?
I do. Hold on.
Okay, because I only really have like 2 left, I think.
Okay, wait. Now we have Nothing Burger 2.0.
Uh-huh.
And that is Alan. He does jack all in this season. Like, he's there to be kind of funny and nothing else. And I get Seth Rogen is kind of a funny guy, but it's like, dude, you didn't expand upon him at all. Even in the scene where he's being handed over the title, it's like
that was the only thing they actually did with him, though.
Yes,
that was like important to his character.
The only like thing I liked about Alan in this season was the jokes about him and his girlfriend having sex.
And even that got overplayed a little bit after they did it like 4 times.
Yeah, okay, it was funny because it was overplayed, though. Like, that was, like, one of the few times where I'm like, okay.
I know, I found it funny the first 3 times, and they did it a 4th time. I'm like, okay, guys.
Yeah, but it's like, they did nothing with him. They did nothing with him clashing with the Viltrons. We saw literally 0 reaction from him when Thetis died. He just popped up on the planet, and he's like...
Not any meaningful reaction.
Yeah, he just show, like, they show him back being the actual head of the council now, being like, oh, maybe Thetis meant to die because of all the paperwork. It's like, dude, this is this dude's practical father figure who just died, who's done everything for him.
Mind you, that died in a gruesome way in front of him. Thrag just, like, absolutely, like a piece of Velcro, just took his head off his body.
Yeah, and it's like, dude, and nothing was done with him at all. Yeah. And, like, that moves me in. Like, we already talked about the main cast. Omni-Man, Mark, Cecil when he was there, Thrag when he was there, and then, to an extent, Oliver, because I think this was by far his best season.
Yeah. I didn't talk about it, but one of my pros is that I thought he was a really good character in this.
Oh, season. Yeah, no. The episode 6, I think it was my favorite episode with Omni-Man and Oliver. But it's like, outside of those characters, the rest of the cast was just nothing. Battle Beast, nothing. Space Racer, nothing. Tech Jacket, nothing. Alan, nothing. Alan's girlfriend, nothing. Thaddeus was pretty cool. I'll give you that.
Yeah, Thaddeus was pretty good.
Thaddeus, however you say it. Like, that was pretty cool. But it's like, you have this whole cast, and it's like, oh my god. They're all as bland as the PNGs you used for the group up picture.
Yeah. Like, yeah. I only have 2 left. I'll give my second to last one. I'm not really one to complain about power scaling in general. You know this about me. Because to be honest, I don't really care. But there is just so many instances of characters in this season just being straight up useless and liabilities in fights to the point that it gets annoying. Tech Jacket / Zoe is the biggest liability in pretty much every fight she's in. Oliver is a liability, but more so because of his overconfidence, which fits his character, so he gets a small pass for me. But even have characters like Space Racer and surprisingly even like Battle Beast did not have any actual meaningful impact in the fight scenes against the Viltrumites.
Yeah, the Ragnars did significantly more. And people were like, oh, well, Battle Beast can't fly, he can't breathe. The Ragnars can't fly.
Yeah.
And they still did more. And it's like, I get they were attached to Space Racer, he's hauling them around, whatever. But especially Tech Jacket, it pissed me off. Because you're going to go to the Geldarian planet. The Geldarians are going to say, we can't help you. But this hero from Earth, this legendary hero, or they said some like bullshit like that. They go, and it's like, I don't care that they gender swapped. I actually thought Zoe did better as a girl with like the dynamic with her dad, because I do think the female cast in this season was really underwhelming.
Yeah,
but it's like, dude, she did nothing. Like she was
such a big liability in every fight.
And we saw her capable. One time she blasted from her head, and we saw it take like half of the ribs off of a Viltrumite, and then she just never tried it again. Yeah, and I'm like, and all she did was shoot the darts. And it's like, dude, what am I watching? Like, this is just like, you're not establishing. We don't know how she got the armor. Like, I know maybe in the Tech Jacket comic line they did that. We don't know how she got it. We don't know why she has it. We don't know why she has a whole space station for it. We know nothing. Her in-fight scenes weren't that cool. Like, the only interesting thing she had was them stuck in the box playing games together.
Yeah. Do you have any? We should probably wrap up soon. Do you have any more cons left?
I have the delivery of every big moment minus, I think, like 2 or 3, minus the Ring of Viltrumites, minus, yeah, maybe that might be it, was just mid. I think the delivery of the bigger moments could have been way better. I think Mark waking up from the illness, from when he recovered from Conquest could have been better. Like, I thought it was okay.
I thought it was good.
Like,
when he went up to the graves and thought it was Oliver and Nolan.
Yeah, I thought it was okay.
I thought that was good.
Like, I didn't think it was bad. I just thought it was okay. Obviously, Thaddeus dying. I think Thaddeus could have been way better.
It was more so because they just didn't do enough to show the impact of his death.
I liked that it was quick. I think Viltrum blowing up could have been better. I mean, like, obviously,
I think
everyone's seen Teddy Bear Lucan at this point. Like,
yeah, bro.
like, it's like, I think showing the actual Viltrumites on Earth could have been
But I
better.
think the best part about Lucan is unironically the guy on TikTok who cosplays as Lucan, and he's like, "Guys, the Grand Region doesn't know I'm recording this."
And then there's the Thrag cosplayer on TikTok as
Yeah,
well,
like,
bro.
Viltrumites, Lucan specifically. Why are you recording TikToks?
Like, it's like, I think, like, almost every big moment, like, this is stuff that's been set up for seasons. Our first actual clash with Viltrum. Like, obviously, we've clashed with Krieg before, Craig.
Correct.
We've clashed with Anissa. But our first large-scale clash, and it's like, I'm just sitting here like, okay.
Yeah. I don't. Do you have any more left or no?
No.
Okay. I have none left. There's one thing I do want to ask you about before we wrap, though, for this segment at least. And when Mark is about to fight Conquest and he says, "I killed Conquest, I can kill you," and Anissa turns and she gives that look, a lot of people, that sparked a discussion. I want to ask you. I'm not going to spoil it for people who haven't read the comics. And I honestly don't even know if we could talk about it in detail. We probably can't on YouTube. But
We can talk about it, absolutely.
not in detail,
Not in
though.
detail.
But do you think they're going to end up doing that one scene in the future? Because if they are going to do it, it's going to be next season between Mark and Anissa.
I think there's no way they can't. I don't know how much of it we're going to actually see. But it is very much a thing they.
I think it'll be a silhouette situation.
I think it will be a silhouette situation. I think it is a thing that is necessary, though.
Yeah, because you need to have a character that is created because of that.
Yeah, I think it is. I think it's necessary for everything on Earth. I think in the comics, it's not even done as well as it could be. Well, in terms of writing, not in terms of
based off what I've seen, it's not written very well. Yeah.
Yeah,
But it has the potential to be.
But it very much
well.
is a potential. It is a potential man thing, and so I don't think they're gonna shy. I think they're gonna shy away from being graphic with it.
Yeah,
but
definitely. I think it might happen. Yeah.
No, I don't think. I think it is. It has to happen.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't think we should talk too much more about that because I don't want to spoil it for people who haven't seen the comic or what we're talking about. But I think that's where we're gonna wrap this segment, our review for Invincible season 4. If you're on YouTube, the next YouTube video after this will be our second segment, which will be us reviewing Stranger Things Tales from 85. And if you're on Spotify, just wait a few seconds and you'll hear us starting the second segment up. But thank you guys for listening. We'll see you guys next week.
We have no clue.
We have no clue because Logan might die. Who knows? But we'll see you guys later.